welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and we are gonna jump right in. I get married in 17 days. Somehow I have a little bit of free time to do a video right now, so I thought I would do a wedding themed video since it is coming up so soon. We are so excited and we cannot wait. Like 11 months will be the length of time that we were engaged. That's a long time. I know some people who do like really long engagements. I don't know how y'all do it. Kudos to you. I am ready to marry my man. So I am coming on here to talk to you guys about how I did my save the dates, invitations, RSVPs, and programs. All of your printables. I've talked a little bit about this before, but I am doing my entire wedding for $10,000. $10,000. Okay? That's not a lot. Coming up here, I will go into and do a video of the breakdown of my budget. But today I wanted to talk specifically about the printables because this is a huge, huge area that you can save a ton of money on. And first off, let me tell you why you should cut your budget in your printables, okay? People are going to keep your save the date on the fridge until they get your invitation, at which point they may decide to keep your save the date up on the fridge with your invitation, but they may decide to throw your save the date away at that point, and then your invitation will go up on the fridge. Then after your wedding, unless it's family, probably no one is going to save your invitation or your save the date. Both of them are going in the fridge if the save the date wasn't there already. RSVP cards, okay? They write on them, they mail them back to you, and if you're like me and you have a Wedding Wire account or you're on the Knot or anything like that, you have an electronic guest list and you mark the person in the electronic guest list as attending, and then you don't need the paper anymore. And personally, if you are not set up with an account on Wedding Wire or the Knot or something similar, I highly, highly suggest it because honestly, I have Wedding Wire and it gives me a total count of everyone who is attending my wedding at the top. And that is so much easier than going and looking through all of my RSVP cards. I have the whole list right there. I can search by name the guest, and so I don't have to sit there and search through RSVP cards. So the electronic thing, I was going to do electronic RSVPs. They work for some people. I don't suggest that because I had my bridesmaids try my link out and they had some issues with it and I didn't want to take the chance, which is why I switched to paper. But unless you're saving the paper RSVPs for some reason, because you don't even have to have a Wedding Wire account. You could do an Excel spreadsheet and put, like, as you get the RSVPs in, just like list the people who are coming. You could do it that way and list the people who are declined. And honestly, an Excel sheet would be awesome if you set that up before you send out save the dates or anything, because then you can do mail merge for your labels, but that is a different video. Unless you're keeping the RSVPs, I'm going to get to the point. Unless you're keeping the paper RSVPs for something, they're going in the trash. And programs, ceremony programs, probably no one except for you and maybe family are going to keep the ceremony programs. They are going to go in the trash. Okay, so that's why I'm saying you can cut your budget here, okay? Because all of this stuff is going to end up in the trash. Almost like 99% guaranteed it's going to end up in the trash. So why spend a bunch of money on all of this stuff for it to go in the trash. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So first off, we're going to start with the save the dates. Now, my save the dates were the only ones that I did not print myself. I wanted our engagement photos. This is our save the date. I wanted our engagement photos on the save the date. So we did ours on Shutterfly, and the paper is literally like if you were to print off a photo, that's what the paper is like, okay? Now, we did pay extra for the rounded corners. It was like maybe 15 cents per thing extra to round the corners off. And it wasn't something that I did like the rounded corners better. The pointy corners I would have been fine with, but my fiance liked the look of the rounded corners better. And because he doesn't have a lot of preferences in this whole wedding planning thing, and I'm getting to do basically everything I want, I gave this to him, and we went with the rounded corners. We got about 100 to send out because we invited about 160, 70 people. And so we needed to send out about 80 to 85. So we got some extras just in case. And this came to a total of like, I think, oh goodness, because we ordered some other things. So now I'm like trying to remember the invoice. It was somewhere between $115 and $130. So it's not a lot compared to what you could end up spending. And this was a very simple design. I liked it because it was simple, but had the information on there that we needed. So Shutterfly, great for save the dates. They also, some of them, you can get the save the dates that match the invitations, and like they have all of that stuff. So then for my invitations, I'm gonna, hold on, there's some information that I don't want on YouTube. Okay, so here are the invitations. I'm covering up the stuff that I don't want. Sorry. I don't want everybody knowing where my wedding is going to be taking place. These invitations, I went onto Etsy and I got the digital copy of this pattern. Okay, and paid, it was $19 to get the digital copy. So what she did is I told her the specifics of what I wanted on here, and then she did all of the typing up, and she gave me probably like 4 or 5 different PDF sizes, some with like the edges, like the bleed marks and stuff like that. And she did all the work. So then all I had to do was print. So $19. And then I went to Hobby Lobby. Was it Hobby Lobby? Yes, it was it was Joann's. I went to Joann's and I found this paper that I printed it on. And I got 100 of these papers. Came with the border on it. And it came with envelopes for $20. Okay, so total price for sending out 100 invitations was $39, probably more like maybe $50 for the printing. Okay, because this is pretty color and stuff like that. So $50 as opposed to, I probably would have spent close to $150 to $200. So I saved a lot of money there, a lot. Okay. So that was on Etsy. My next thing came from Etsy as well. I tell you, you brides, mother-in-laws, grooms, mothers of the bride, Etsy and Amazon are my best friends, okay? So, paper RSVPs. What I did is because literally 3 weeks before I was going to send out RSVPs is when I found out that my, or invitations, and I had it all planned out to do the electronic. I changed my mind. So I'm like, oh, I've got 3 weeks to figure out how to do paper RSVPs. So what I did is I went onto Etsy and I got a digital download. And actually, it wasn't a digital download. So I actually paid to have the document. And it was only $5 because I didn't have to pay someone to take time to do it like I did with this one, with the invitation. I was able to get the document and go in and edit it myself and save it. And so these were my RSVP cards, okay? Beautiful and simple. I printed them on cardstock, and I was able to fit 4 to a regular 8x11 sheet of paper. So I just ran that through. I printed 100 of these, so do the math. And then I just cut them out. And so $5 for the card. I had the card stock already here, so I didn't have to pay extra for that. And then on Walmart, I got 100 envelopes for $12. So $17 for 100 RSVP cards. That's pretty awesome. I forgot about one thing that I did do myself as well. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, I don't have an extra copy of my invitation insert, but I actually went into Word and created an invitation insert and said, you know, dear, and then we typed the names, and we actually typed everyone who was invited on it so they knew exactly who was invited in case children aren't coming to the wedding. Yeah, anyway. And then I put information like, this is the reception, this is when the doors open, this is the address. This is my wedding website address. Go here for ceremony, parking, registry, blah, blah, blah. And then walking directions from the parking garage to our ceremony venue. So I did print that out myself as well. And I did that. That was all free because I already had the paper here. So I didn't have to buy the paper, and I did the document myself. So last but not least are the ceremony programs. So I'm going to show you ceremony program. I did the long one. We've got the, actually this is the front. And so I did it front and back. So this tells you, you know, the wedding and then the wedding party and then a little thank you from Ben and I. And then on the back, we have the ceremony order. Okay. And then a little note about it being an unplugged ceremony. I got this template from a friend who's also my day of coordinator. She sent this to me. This was her template for her wedding programs. So I didn't have to create this. If you would like this template, comment down below with your email address and I can send it over to you. That's not a problem. I don't mind sharing it because it's super pretty. I had the cardstock here at home. Again, already had the paper. So this was completely free. I just edited everything to fit my wedding. And she only had this front part. So I added a second page and took this layout and pasted it onto the second page. So that way I could have the little icons here, the little decorative thingamajiggies, to do that. Printed it back, double-sided, cut them in half. I was able to print 2 programs per page, and I printed about 110 of these completely for free, okay? That is some of the best ways to cut your budget when it comes to printables. It's going to cut by a lot because you could end up spending a lot of money on printables. If you don't want to do it yourself, Etsy is probably one of the best places to find, you know, cheaper things. I did notice that if you had the person print them out, it's still pretty expensive. So if you're really looking to cut the budget, I highly suggest doing it yourself. It gives you something to do as the bride, and I personally enjoyed it. Actually, Ben and I sat down and did most of the cutting and the RSVPs and the invitation, like packing the envelopes and everything together, and it was really fun and we enjoyed it. So that's my video. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below. I put out a video when I have free time, and I'm glad I was able to do that today. And yeah, so I will see you next time. Bye.